What's up, Wise Flyers? David here. We're going to talk about all of the credit card application rules and restrictions for the major banks. We're talking Chase, Citi, Amex, CapitalOne, and a couple of others so that you could get approved for those credit cards. I've been involved with credit cards since 2011, and through the years, the rules and restrictions for each bank has gotten a lot harder to get approved for their credit cards. But by following the rules and restrictions that I'm going to lay out in this video, I've been able to get approved for 51 credit cards at the time of filming this video. If you're new to credit cards, it may sound absolutely crazy why I would get so many of those cards, but the reason why is because it's given me a lot of free travel. So I love to travel, and I love taking my family to a bunch of different places around the world, showing my kids different cultures and giving them different experiences that I wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. Through all of the points and miles that I've earned from the credit cards, as well as all the benefits that these credit cards give you, I've been able to access airport lounges, go to 5-star hotels for free, and go in first and business class flights that would cost thousands of dollars. So I'm going to share all of the rules and strategies of how to get approved for all of these credit cards from the major banks so that you could get travel points for travel or just cash back for money in your pocket. So if you want to get approved for any credit card of any of these major banks in 2020, make sure you pay attention to this whole video so that you could get approved for the credit card that you want. First, we're going to start with American Express. So Amex has the 5-card rule, which means you're only allowed to get 5 credit cards total, and this could be from membership reward point earning cards to the co-branded cards such as Hilton, Delta. But what this doesn't include are the charge cards such as the American Express Platinum card, Gold card, Green card. Those 3 cards do not count towards your 5 card slots. So if you have 5 cards already with American Express, 5 credit cards, then you won't be able to get approved for that 6th credit card. So you want to have some strategy in place to make sure you're choosing the 5 cards that'll best fit your lifestyle. The next rule is the 290 rule, which means that you'll only be able to get approved for 2 cards in a single day within a 90-day period. Now, it depends on what 2 cards they are. You're allowed to get approved for 2 charge cards in one day, 1 charge card and 1 credit card, but you can't get approved for 2 credit cards on the same day. So depending on which credit card and charge card you're going for, basic rule, you're only going to get 1 credit card in that 90-day period, but you can get multiple charge cards within that 90-day period. And one of my least favorite rules with Amex is the once per lifetime rule, which means you're only going to be able to get 1 credit card sign-up offer for a specific credit card 1 time in your entire life. That means if you've had the credit card in the past, whether or not you got the sign-up offer doesn't matter. You won't be able to get that sign-up offer again in your lifetime. You can get approved for that specific charge card or credit card, but you won't be able to get the sign-up offer again. What this means is anytime you're applying for a certain credit card, charge card, you want to make sure it's at the highest sign-up offer possible, because once you get that card, you can't ever get it again. So a lot of credit cards, charge cards, the sign-up offers will go up, they'll go down. So when it's time for you to apply, you want to make sure that you're getting it at the highest point. There are some exceptions to this rule. As with any rule to get multiple sign-up offers for the same card, I was able to get multiple sign-up offers for the American Express Delta Gold card. I'll leave a link down in the description below of how I was able to do that, but make sure you watch this entire video first. And if you're not really sure if you had a card before and you're curious if you're eligible of the sign-up offer again, if you go to the application page for that specific card, you fill out your information, it'll let you know, a little pop-up box will come up and say whether or not you'll be able to get the sign-up offer for this card again. You can get the card again if you really want the card, but it'll let you know whether or not you'll get the sign-up offer again. Now let's talk about Chase. Chase has the infamous 524 rule, which means if you have opened 5 cards or more in the past 24 months, you won't be able to get approved for any Chase credit card. Now, there are some exceptions to this rule as well. So business credit cards don't count towards that 524 count. So if you've opened up Chase business cards, Citi business cards, Amex business cards, those cards won't count towards your 524 count. What does count towards your 524 count are CapitalOne business cards, TD Bank business cards, and Discover business cards. Those specific business cards will count towards your 524. So to be clear, with personal cards, let's say you've opened up a few American Express cards, a few CapitalOne cards, Barclays cards, card and Chase cards. It doesn't matter if it's just Chase cards you've opened up. Any of those personal cards will count towards your 524 count. So if you've opened up 6 cards in the past 24 months and you decide to apply for a Chase credit card, you will be instantly denied. And there are some exceptions to this rule as well. I've been able to get approved for 5 Chase credit cards while being over 524. I'll leave a link to exactly how to do that, as well as more details about the 524 rule down in the description below. Next is the Chase 50% rule. So Chase allows you to get as many Chase credit cards as you want. Currently, I have 7 Chase credit cards that are open, and it's not necessarily about the number of Chase credit cards that Chase is concerned with that you're able to get. It's the amount of credit that they're extending to you. So the amount of credit will be determined by 50% of your income that you put on the application. So to keep numbers simple, let's say you make $100,000. That means you'll only be allowed to get 50% credit limit between all of your Chase cards that counts for personal and business. So if you're approaching that 50% mark, all you have to do is just call up Chase and lower your credit limits for a few of those credit cards to make sure that you're below that 50% mark before you apply for a new credit card. Now, if you are about at that 50% mark or even over, sometimes Chase will just give you a pending or denied status, and you just have to call the reconsideration line and move some credit around from your old card to your new card and switch it around, and then you could get approved that way as well. But being below that 50% mark definitely helps your chances in getting an instant approval with Chase. Next, let's talk about the 24-month and 48-month rules with specific cards. So the Chase Sapphire card, so the Chase Sapphire Reserve, Chase Sapphire Preferred, as well as the plain Chase Sapphire card fall under the 48-month rule. So unfortunately, you're not able to have more than one Chase Sapphire card at a time. And when you open a Chase Sapphire card and you get the sign-up offer, you won't be able to get another Chase Sapphire card for 48 months. So if you get this, one of the Sapphire cards, you downgrade it or cancel it, you won't be able to get that card for an additional 48 months from the time that you got the sign-up offer of that card. So to be clear, it's not when you cancel the card or get approved for the card, but it's when you actually receive that sign-up offer. So keep that date in mind when you're able to receive the sign-up offer. Similar rule applies to other Chase credit cards, but it's not a 48-month rule, it's a 24-month rule. So for example, with the Southwest card, currently there's 3 personal Southwest cards and 2 business Southwest cards. So with the personal Southwest cards, you're not allowed to get more than 1 personal Southwest card for a 24-month period from the time that you got the previous sign-up offer. Now, this rule doesn't apply to the Southwest business credit cards, so there's 2 of those. You could get both those business credit cards and they don't fall under the 24-month rule. So you could get pretty much in a 24-month period, get 1 Southwest personal credit card and 2 Southwest business credit cards. And if all of these rules and restrictions to get approved for these cards is confusing or overwhelming, feel free to fill out a free credit card consultation form down in the description below, and I'll help you figure out your next move. Next, let's talk about Citibank credit cards. So with Citi, they have a 1 in 8-day rule and a 2 in 65-day rule. This means that you'll only be able to be approved for either 1 personal or 1 business in an 8-day period, and you can't get more than 2 cards in a 65-day period. So if you plan on applying for a certain Citi card, you can get 2 Citi cards in that 65-day period, but also there's a business 1 in 90 rule, which means you're only allowed to get 1 business credit card every 90 days. Now, similar to Chase with the 24-month rule with families, Citi has some 24-month family credit card rules as well. For any Citi credit cards that earns Citi Thank You points, so these cards could include the Citi Prestige, Citi Premier, Citi Thank You Preferred. These fall under a 24-month rule, which means you're only allowed to get approved for 1 Citi Thank You point reward earning card within a 24-month period. So this means, let's say you have the Citi Premier card, you open it today, that means 24 months from now, from this day, then you could get the Citi Prestige card if you wanted to have both of these cards. So from the research that I've done, whenever you get a Citi card, the clock starts right when you get the card, so 24 months start right when you receive the card. Then if you decide to cancel or downgrade or anything like that, then the clock restarts, and then you have to start another 24 months from whether you cancel or upgrade or downgrade that specific card. This makes it a little difficult to have multiple Citi Thank You point earning cards, because that means you're going to have to keep a card open with the annual fee for up to 2 years before you could get another one. And if you decide to downgrade or upgrade, you're pretty much stuck with that card for another 24 months. So you want to pick your Citi Thank You point earning card carefully, because you're going to keep it for at least 24 months unless you decide to get another one. So there's a similar 24-month rule with the American airline earning credit cards, such as the Mile Up card, which has no annual fee, the Platinum Select card, which has a $99 annual fee, and then the Admiral's Executive card, which has a $450 annual fee. The same way that I explained the 24-month rule with the Citi Thank You point earning cards applies to the American airline earning cards, with the exception of the business credit card. So with the Citi Advantage Business Platinum Select card, that card doesn't fall under the 24-month rule. By the way, if you want to apply for any of the credit cards mentioned in this video and support the channel, you could use the referral links down in the description below. Next, let's talk about Bank of America. So Bank of America has the famous 2-3-4 rule. What this means is that you could only get approved for 2 cards in a 30-day period, and you could only get approved for 3 new cards in a 12-month period, and then you could get approved for 4 new cards in a 24-month period. So this 2-3-4 rule, as well as all of the other rules that I'm going to explain in this video, the banks won't acknowledge these rules. They're more of like data points that a lot of people share, and then the names of these rules come about. So if you approach Bank of America, say the 2-3-4 rule, or go to Citi and say the 265 rule, they're going to have no idea what you're talking about. It's more or less algorithms that are set or hard-coded into the software, and those are kind of the determining factors of how you're going to get approved. With that said, Bank of America is a lot more stricter through the years than it has been. So this 2-3-4 rule, although some people have had success with it, if you've opened up multiple cards just within the last year or two, Bank of America has been known to just deny. They're actually really hard to get approved for, because the Alaska Airlines credit card was able to get approved for like every other month, and as many of these as possible. So Bank of America has definitely cracked down with the Alaska Airlines credit card. Now, with a lot of these credit cards, if you ever apply and the status comes up as pending or denied, I recommend calling the reconsideration line. I have a free PDF down in the description below. It has all of the numbers of these banks that I'm talking about, as well as talking points of what to say to the representative to help you get approved. Now, the good thing about Bank of America is they don't restrict the amount of sign-up offers you could get for their credit card. So they don't have a 24-month rule in place. They don't have a once-in-a-lifetime rule in place. So assuming you're able to get past the 2-3-4 rule, then essentially you'll be able to open up multiple Bank of America credit cards and get the sign-up offer for each card. Next, we're going to talk about Barclays. So if you have any Barclays cards and you close that card, cancel it or whatever, then you're going to have to wait at least 6 months before Barclays is going to approve you for a new card. Also, Barclays has been known to deny people who don't use the current Barclays cards that they have. So if you sign up for the American Airlines Aviator card, and you don't use it for the whole year because you just want to get that one purchase to get a sign-up offer, then most likely Barclays will deny you because you haven't used your card throughout the year. So this makes Barclays a little different than the other banks, because it's not just about the amount of cards that you've applied for or opened in your past, but they want to know how often you're using your card. And Barclays has been known to actually decrease or close your account on your card if you haven't used your card, usually within a year. Most cards will, or actually not within a year, but around a year. I would say with most other credit cards, they usually wait around 2 years of zero activity before closing your account, but Barclays has been known to do this a lot sooner. Unfortunately, Barclays allows you to get the sign-up offer multiple times for its credit cards, assuming you're able to get approved. So the Barclay Arrival Plus card isn't around anymore, but I was able to get that 4 times before they discontinued that card. But according to my research recently, so the JetBlue card as well as the Aviator card for American Airlines, those cards, Barclays has actually withheld the sign-up offer for giving people those cards if they've had it in the past. I found multiple data points on each side of this, so if you've had multiple Barclay cards before, let me know down in the comments below what your experience has been. I haven't found any hard rule on this. It's actually been back and forth. Next is CapitalOne, and CapitalOne is actually really hard to be approved for in general. So they have a 2-card rule, which means you're only allowed to have 2 CapitalOne credit cards at one time. But this doesn't apply to CapitalOne business credit cards. Supposedly, you're able to get multiple CapitalOne business credit cards and more than 2, but you could only have 2 personal CapitalOne credit cards. And with CapitalOne, you're only allowed to be approved for 1 credit card in a 6-month period, and this counts for business or personal. So whichever one you want to get, business or personal, you're gonna have to wait 6 months between each application. And one of the things I really don't like about CapitalOne is that anytime you apply for one of those cards, that they pull from the 3 major credit bureaus as well as a 4th credit bureau. So they're gonna pull from Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, as well as Innovis. So I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I've never heard it out loud. But if you're a little credit pull or hard increase sensitive, then I would be very cautious about CapitalOne because it'll ding all 3 of your credit bureaus, which means it could be anywhere from 2 to 5 points per credit bureau for a hard inquiry. Next, let's talk about Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo is what's considered relationship dependent upon getting approved for credit cards. Similar to Barclay, that they want to see what type of relationship you have with them first before they're going to approve you. So with a lot of the banks that I mentioned, if you don't have a bank account like a checking or savings, loan or business account with them, no prior relationship with them, you could actually get approved for those cards. For example, with Chase, you don't need a checking account or savings account to get approved for its credit cards. They're kind of independent. Not so much the case with Wells Fargo. If you have a checking account or any type of relationship with Wells Fargo, they're more likely to approve you for one of their cards. And if you don't have any bank account with Wells Fargo or any relationship, it's going to be a lot harder to get approved for one of their cards. So Wells Fargo has a 6-month rule and a 15-month rule. So if you've opened up a credit card with Wells Fargo in the past 6 months, usually they're not going to approve you for another Wells Fargo credit card within that 6-month period. So you're going to have to wait after that 6 months in order to get approved. Now they also have a 15-month rule, which says that if you've gotten the sign-up offer for a certain Wells Fargo credit card, not the same one you're applying for, but a different Wells Fargo credit card, that they may not give you the sign-up offer for that card because you already applied for another card within 15 months. So when it comes to Wells Fargo, just to play it safe, I would wait 15 months between applications, especially if you're going for the sign-up offer. But with Wells Fargo, I feel like there really aren't that many credit cards that are beneficial to begin with. I think the Propel card is probably its best card and might be the only card I think worth pursuing with Wells Fargo. And if you want to learn more specifically about the Chase 524 rule, everything you need to know, you can click this link over here. And here are some other application rules where I go more into detail with other banks like Chase and Amex, and I'll see you in the next video.